And good afternoon once again from Dick Putz Field at the St. Cloud Municipal Athletic Complex. It is our third game of a broadcast tripleheader from the 72nd Annual VFW State Baseball Tournament. It is win and move into the championship game, lose and the season is over. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to Dick Putz Field. I am Paul Vold on behalf of Bitstream Digital Media. Donna Lommel on cameras, Brian Lommel on the computers here this afternoon as a matchup between the Cold Spring 16s at a post 69-15 will be taking on Elk River post 55-18, and both teams now in the midst of a long back-ended day. Now, of course, how we got to this point, Cold Spring, the 16s have to battle their way out of the consolation bracket, much the same did the Elk River squad as well. Of course, falling into the consolation bracket is Elk River, but Cold Spring, after dropping their opening round game against Winona 6-0, bounced back on a Friday with a win against New Prague 10-0. And then earlier today, the first game of their triple header of a day, defeating Rochester before bouncing back with a 6-2 win against Andover just some 2 hours ago. So now we'll make it the third game today for Cold Spring to quite possibly set up an all Cold Spring final in the championship game coming up tomorrow morning. But Elk River has other ideas. After a sluggish start offensively for the team, followed by a couple lapses on defense, Elk River unfortunately fell in the championship semifinals against Cold Springs 15s 2-0. But it wasn't for a lack of effort, as Payne Icky only gave up 57 pitches in total against the Cold Spring 15s to put themselves into this situation where they currently stand, but now have a chance to rectify it and quite possibly face against those 15s coming up tomorrow morning. Lots to talk about here with this broadcast here today, as the Cold Spring 16s will be taking on the Elk River squad at a post 55-18. But first, let's take a look here at the lineups for both squads, as it will be Elk River, the visiting team, once again here this afternoon, entering with a record of 24-5. Leading off will be that pitcher in number 10, Peyton Icky. He wears that number 10, and the 2 spot, number 3, the second baseman, Landon Kolakowski. While also number 2 is in the 3 spot, the shortstop, Bryson Klingenhofer, I should say, while also having at number 5, the first baseman, Gavin Mensa. Number 23 is the third baseman, Landon Voss, while number 4 is the right fielder, Alec Herzog. He will be batting for himself this contest, while number 13 is the catcher, Avery Wydell. The designated hitter is number 18, Logan Dahlberg, in the 8th spot. He is hitting for the left fielder, number 8, that being Cody Berklich, and then also rounding off the lineup is number 1, the center fielder in Max Peterson. For the other side, for the Cold Spring 16s, out of post 69-15, on the top of the order will be number 14, the third baseman, Cooper Notch, while also number 2 is the catcher, Ethan Hellerman, followed by number 23, the shortstop, Logan Adams. Number 16 is the pitcher, Christian Bergeson. He'll be in the cleanup spot. Number 21 is the first baseman, Noah Bergeson. And then we'll also have number 9, that being Dane Zier, while number 3 is the left fielder, Carter Simon. And number 10 is Tyson Zahar. He will be the 8 batter at second base, and then number 5 is the center fielder, Jax Hohenstein, while also towing the rubber will be Christian Bergeson. Stahlberger, I should say, is the first baseman there for the Cold Spring 16s. Just minutes away here from this contest. Of course, we're just waiting for our umpires. We'll have the opening lineups and then also a look at that national anthem coming up here today. But again, a big thank you to all those tuning in across the state of Minnesota. Thanks to those Minnesota VA medical centers and also those veterans homes as well across the state. Thank you so much for tuning in here today, and thank you for your service. Step aside here for a moment, and then we will have those lineups along with our national anthem, as it will be a win and in championship game implications coming your way between Cold Springs 15s against the Elk River post number 5518. The 16s, I should say, from Cold Spring are playing here in this afternoon matchup. Much more coming your way. First pitch just around the corner here from the VFW State Baseball Tournament at Dick Putz Field in St. Cloud. More coming your way here with Bitstream Digital Media.
the starting lineups for today's game. First, for the designated visiting team from Elk River. Batting first and pitching, number 10, Peyton Icky. Batting second, playing second base, number 3, Landon Golokalski. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 2, Bryson Klingelhofer. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 5, Gavin Mensa. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 23, Landon Voss. Batting sixth, playing right field, number 4, Alec Herzog. Batting seventh and catching, number 15, Avery Waddell. Batting eighth and designated hitter, number 18, Logan Dahlberg. Batting ninth, playing center field, number 1, Max Peterson. And playing left field, number 8, Cody Burley. And now the starting lineup for the home team, Cold Spring. Leading off, playing third base, number 14, Cooper Notch. Batting second, playing catcher, number 2, Ethan Hellerman. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 23, Logan Adams. Batting fourth, pitching, number 16, Christian Bergeson. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 21, Noah Stahlberger. Batting sixth, playing right field, Dane Zeiher. Batting seventh, playing left field, number 3, Carter Simon. Batting eighth, playing second base, number 10, Tyson Zahar. And batting ninth, playing center field, number 5, Jax Hohenstein. And the rest of the Cold Spring team. At this time, fans, we ask you to please rise if you're able, remove your caps. As we honor our country and those who defend our freedom, with the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
Get ready to go here for first pitch of this final consolation bracket matchup, elimination matchup between Cold Spring 16s against Elk River Post 55-18 from Dick Putz Field in St. Cloud at the Municipal Athletic Complex. It will be, of course, the Cold Spring 16 squad to start things off here in the field, as they are the designated home team. Defensively, they will go like this. It will be Bergeson on the mound with Hellerman behind the plate. From third to first will go Notch, Adams, Zahar, and also Stahlberger over at first. Outfield from left to right is Simon, Hohenstein, and Zeiher out in right field as we get ready and set to go here, as it'll be a Cold Spring 15s team, Cold Spring 2 that is, that will be watching and waiting with anticipation. Maybe a little extra self-scouting here today. A little bit of vested interest for that 15 squad, as the winner of this contest here in this elimination matchup will take on the Cold Spring 15s coming up tomorrow morning right here from Dick Putz Field. And we certainly look forward to that. Maybe we'll get ourselves a full Cold Spring lineup and shut down the town of Richmond and Cold Spring for, of course, the day of Sunday. But it will be Peyton Icky to lead things off here, the opposing pitcher for Elk River, followed by Landon Kolakowski and Bryson Klingenhofer. We'll get ready here for a set of first pitch. Getting the sun is Bergeson. He winds and fires from the full windup, kicks it in, and a ground ball right back up the middle to second base. Over to first, a little high throw. Did he get the fact down? No, he did not. He beats it out, does Icky. First pitch coming in at 4:05. And an uncharacteristic defensive start here for Cold Spring. High throw from the second baseman in Zahar. And it'll be starting off here, a little bit of an errant throw there right off the bat. And we get a courtesy runner in for the pitcher. And that will bring in a number 14. That will be Zach Walls will be doing the courtesy running for Icky. So reaching on that error to open things up here. Zach Walls will be over at first base, leading things off here. Kolakowski, third baseman, and Notch in over on the grass over at third base. And there's for a ball, 1-0 the count to Kolakowski. Klingenhofer waits on deck. Elk River hoping off to get a much better start than they did the last contest against the Cold Spring 15s, just off the plate outside, now making it 2-0 the count. Again, it wasn't for a lack of effort. It was just a pitcher's duel in the back half of that first contest between the 15s of Cold Spring and Elk River. The 2-0 at the belt, in for a strike. Delayed call there from our home plate umpire. Nonetheless, splits the difference at 2 balls and a strike. Taking a peek over at first is the pitcher in Bergeson. Holds from the stretch. Snap throw over to first. Back in safely as Stahlberger applies the tag, but back in safely was Walls. Right-handed pitcher against the lefty batter in Kolakowski. Third baseman backs up a step, swung on over the top of, and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the third baseman, Notch, will probably back up a few extra steps, play even with the base, step behind over at third. Middle infielders playing about medium depth there to at least hopefully cut down either a runner or get the double play ball. Bouncing home plate, sneaks between the legs, and will be an easy advance to second base for Walls. Bringing the count full as Kolakowski draws it all the way back to 3-2. Just got between the legs of Hellerman. Did not get much further away from him than that. But just enough distraction there to allow Walls to get down to second. Kicks and fires. Ground ball third base side into left field just beyond the reach of Notch. Into left, and we'll have runners at the corners to open up the ball game for Elk River. Runners at first and third. Nobody out here to bring up Klingenhofer, who dazzled with the glove in the last game against the 15s. As, again, both these teams here, back end of a long, hot day of baseball. The Cold Spring 16s are playing in their third game today, while Elk River just came on the back end of a second game. Runner goes down to second, cutting off the throw in there safely and into short center field. Throw comes to the plate. It's cut off. And advancing all the way to home is Walls. Kolakowski will make it to second. The throw went in to second base, but got between the shortstop and the second baseman as we check the replay. Handcuffed Zahar. And now we'll get a conversation right out of the dugout. It's 1-0 Elk River before an out's even been recorded. Quick conversation out of the dugout here from the coaching staff to the infield. I think right now at this point, Kolakowski actually made it to second on the throw, as it was a stolen base, going to be marked off there. And now, Bryson Klingenhofer, I believe with a 1-0 count to his credit. As we'll reset here for Bryson Klingenhofer. All right, second base, nobody out here First baseman Stahlberger is over at first there, just on the infield cutout. 1-0 the count. Holding from the stretch, looking back is Bergeson. He'll kick and fire towards home. Ground ball to short. Scooped up, thrown over in time. First out of the inning is recorded. One down here. Runner advances to third in the process, but cut that off perfectly. Just timed it up perfectly to hopefully see the ball was going to kick off the dirt and cross up the shortstop in Adams for the 6-3 putout. Now brings up Gavin Mensah. Mensah last game, couple of pop-outs and took one square in the back as he uncorked a massive swing, the cleanup hitter. Came up on the short end there, 0-1 the count. From the full windup, Bergeson kicks and fires. Pop fly right center field. Is it going to run the length of the wall? It's going to be just beyond the reach of the center fielder and Hohenstein. In for second on a stand-up double will be Gavin Mensah, and it's 2-0 Elk River. Mensah taking the pitch the other way and just beyond the reach of Hohenstein to make it 2-0 Elk River. Just the start that post 55-18 wanted. Still one out here in the top of the first inning. The home plate area cleaned up by our home plate umpire. Now brings up Landon Voss, the third baseman. Mensah with a medium lead over at second, playing right in front of the shortstop. So he'll back up Adams. Pop fly, short left field, drifting in, and will make the catch for the second out. Will Simon. Two aside here in the top of the first inning. Brings up Alec Herzog. Herzog didn't get to bat in the first game against the Cold Spring 15s. Now get a chance here to pick up where his teammates left off. Avery Waddell waits on deck if it should get to him. Cue shot. Second base side, scooped up. Over to first in time. Nice play from Zahar over to Stahlberger. But a pair of runs plated in the first inning by Elk River. Now it's Cold Spring's turn coming up here. Bottom of the first, 2-0 Elk River. It is the final elimination game in the VFW State Baseball Tournament here with Bitstream Digital Media. Bottom of the first inning coming up. Elk River leads 2-0. Peyton Eakey makes his way onto the mound. Took the complete game loss against the Cold Spring 15s, but did pitch pretty well. Only gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. No walks, 3 strikeouts in 6 innings of work for him. 57 pitches, including the last 3 innings where they went down 1-2-3, that belonging to the Cold Spring 15s. But Cold Spring won the 16s. Will bring out their lineup just like this. Cooper Notch, Ethan Hellerman, along with Logan Adams with the top 3, with Christian Bergeson in the cleanup spot. Noah Stahlberger, Dane Zeyer, along with Carter Simon, Tyson Zahar, and then Jax Hohenstein round off the lineup for Cold Springs 16s. Those tuning in here, of course, through YouTube on the Bitstream TV YouTube page. Also for those that are joining us throughout the state of Minnesota, the Veterans Homes, and also, of course, the likes of the Minnesota VA Medical Centers. Thank you again for your service. And thanks for tuning in as well, Bitstream Digital Media. Donna and Brian Lommel. I am your play-by-play host, that being Paul Vold. The Cooper Notch to lead things off, the third baseman for the 16s. Get ready to go here with this first pitch offering. It's taking a good long look in is Iki. Ground ball to shortstop side. Klingenhofer, ooh, sure-handed the first game. That one was going to be a tough play nonetheless for him, but he will reach first base. Will Cooper Notch on the first pitch offering. Was going to be a tough play nonetheless. But at least kept the ball on the infield for him. So reaching there, I'll mark that down as a hit for him. Can't it really assume anything. Firing down to second base in time, and yes, they get the out as the second baseman, Kolakowski, took a bit of a licking there. As we get a look at the replay, squaring up to bunt was Hellerman. Get a look down here as, ooh, a little bit of a collision there. Not sure if Notch got the ankle or the foot, but Kolakowski quickly waving off his coach saying, I'm fine. Just going to have to gut it out. But a caught stealing there as Notch taken off the board on the caught stealing for the first out of the inning, thus clears the base paths for Hellerman. If anything, the third baseman talking things over. Voss talking with Iki to at least give second baseman Kolakowski an extra minute or so, including Elk River's coach talking the left fielder as well, but Hellerman at the plate with an 0-1 count. Evens out at 1-1. Outfield defense. Playing at a normal depth, minus right field. Line drive over the shortstop's head into left center field. Be another base hit. This time, for sure, for Ethan Hellerman. Back-to-back hits, but only one man on base. Brings up Logan Adams. Get a courtesy runner over at first base. That'll be number 11 for Cold Spring. That'll be Abe Fredine. Fredine will run for the catcher here. Make that note in our scorebook, and brings up Logan Adams, the shortstop. Runner at first, one out. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0. Elk River. Iki's pitch at the belt. Called a ball on Adams. With Bergeson waiting on deck. Takes a look in. Iki peeks over at first before he holds from the stretch. Kicks and fires towards home. Good secondary lead at the belt yet again, and back-to-back will make it 2-0 the count. Taking a peek over yet again. Snap fire over to first in there safely. Mensa applies the tag, but back in was Fredine. Sure, both teams keeping tabs on the runners as pitch outside, throw down to first, and in safely, a little bit closer than to my liking. We'll make it now 3-1 the count. It was a good throw down there from the catcher in Waddell. It's a 3-0 count. In there for a strike as Adams was going to be taking the entire way. Now makes it 3-1 the count. The signs down over at third base is the runner. Holding from the stretch, time called at home plate. Umpire has a word with the batter and Adams. A 3-1 on its way from Iki. And a strike called. Remains at 3-2. Bring the bases. Maybe see a little bit of motion here with the count full. As Iki takes a peek over at first. Runner takes off towards second. Popped up right field side. Long run from Mensa and will not make it as it hits the tall section of fence. So at least stays in the ballpark. Don't worry about another souvenir getting out. Game number 1 of our triple header had a whole bunch of foul balls bright and early. Second game, much less. So far, I think that might be the first or second foul ball of the contest. We'll see how the rest of the game goes. 3-2 remains. Not running on the opportunity at the belt yet again. It'll be a walk as Iki thought maybe strike 3. Brings up Bergeson. Would like to rectify the 2 runs that he gave up in the first inning by doing a little bit of damage himself. Bergeson takes a peek at the sign, so do both runners. For the Cold Spring 16s. Pitch outside, good lead over at second from Fredine. It was about a third of the way to third base by the time the pitch crossed home plate. He's about a quarter of the way right now. Gets a few extra steps. Ground ball right back up the middle. Throw over to third is in time, and we'll get the lead out. Even with the extra steps made on the fielder's choice, Fredine is gunned down over at third, and Bergeson will make his way over to first on the fielder's choice. Now makes it 2 outs this inning. Now brings to the plate here Noah Stahlberger, left-handed first baseman. Iki kicks and fires. Pitch inside, gets away from the catcher. Runner will take off for a third, but the runner at first will stay. Eliminates the force out as Adams over at third now. Again, for Elk River, their second game of the day today, but for Cold Spring, this will be their third. 1-0 the count on Stahlberger. Time called at the plate, and we are going to get a balk called. And a run's going to come across for Cold Spring as the pitcher did not disengage the rubber before stepping off, as the runner over at first jumped out and headed towards second. Bergeson will head to second. Still a 1-0 count, but a run comes in on a balk. Kicks and fires as Iki. Line drive right to short. One hopper over to first in time for the third out of the inning. Stahlberger grounds out, but a run comes across. 1 in the books. It's 2-1 Elk River on top of Cold Spring with the state VFW baseball tournament elimination contest here with Bitstream Digital Media. One inning in the books here from Dick Putz Field in St. Cloud. Elimination contest, the final elimination game between these two teams that belong to Elk River Post 55-18 and the Cold Spring 16s of Post 69-15. 1 run came across in the bottom of the first inning thanks to Christian Bergson's base running ability. He actually drew a balk that allowed his teammate to come in and score, that being Logan Adams. It's a 2-1 deficit for Cold Spring as Bergeson back out on the mound for his second inning of work. A couple of hits given up in that first inning by Bergeson to go along with Kolakowski and Mensa. It'll be Waddell, Dahlberg, and Peterson scheduled to bat here in the bottom of the second, bottom third of the order, with Waddell at the dish. Line drive out to center field, popped up. Center fielder going back and makes the catch as Hohenstein there. Caught the drift and hung up there for just an extra half second. First out is recorded here in the top of the second inning. Dahlberg at the plate now. He's hitting for the left fielder in Cody Berklich. This is bottom part of the lineup here. Very interesting for Elk River. Plate just off. Makes it 1-0 the count. Max Peterson, the first game against Cold Springs 15s. In the first inning where they were getting guys on bases, Elk River. A lot of movement from the bottom third of the lineup. Foul ball up the third base side will be picked up to even at 1 ball and 1 strike. You get Peterson, you get Iki out on the base paths. They can definitely create a little bit of chaos, if you will, but unfortunately just came up on the short end of any real sort of action up until the final inning. Popped up behind home plate. Looking back for it. Is it going to stay in play? It will, and making the catch is Hellerman. Second out of the inning. Staying with it the entire way. Thought maybe the wind was going to push it back, but it stays in the field of play, and a great catch by the catcher in Hellerman. Even a nice replay in the process. And now we'll get Max Peterson at the plate here with 2 outs. Just off the outside, but catches that strike zone to make it 0-1 the count. Peterson might be the only person in attendance with a hoodie sticking out of the back of his jersey. Ground ball, third base side, picked up by Notch. Kind of handcuffs him, but throws over first in time. A 1-2-3 inning. Cold Spring will come to bat here in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Inning and a half in the books. 2-1 Elk River on top of Cold Spring 16s. Here with Bitstream Digital Media from Dick Putz Field. Dane Zier, Carter Simon, and Tyson Zahar will be up to bat here in the bottom of the second inning for the Cold Spring 69-15 post. 16s entering today with a 20-6 overall record. Have already had to play 2 games, of which they defeated Rochester and Andover to get to this win and into the championship game contest. While Elk River only had to play 1 game so far today and will be in the process of trying to extend it to make it a 3rd game coming up tomorrow. Again, the winner of this contest advances the championship game and would have to beat Cold Springs 15s twice in order to be champion in this double elimination tournament. But still plenty of game ahead of us right here. Bottom of the second, we'll send Zier to the plate, the right fielder. First plate appearance of the day for him as Iki kicks and fires from the full windup. Pop fly, left field, going to be sinking into short left, and making the running catch is Berklich, for the first out of the inning. Nice running catch for him. Caught it at a very low angle. Now brings up Carter Simon as he get a look here at the replay on the catch. Wind might have had a little bit of trouble just kind of pushing that one in just a little bit. First pitch into Simon, called the ball. Iki gets his sign from the full windup, working middle of the rubber there. Fouled off and just stays in the ballpark. Actually hit a rail in the process. Went off the facing of the Peters Body Shop side, then hit one of the rails between each section and bounced into the netting. Ground ball left side into left field for a base hit. Simon keeps this one in the field of play and will fire off into left field. A man on with one out, and Tyson Zahar at the plate, with Jax Hohenstein waiting on deck. Gets the signs from the third base coach down the line. Iki from the stretch, kicks and fires towards home. Puts down the bunt, right back to the pitcher, throw over to first in time for the second out of the inning, and will move the runner over. Not going to count for the sacrifice there since there was already one out recorded. Now Hohenstein at the bottom of the order. Number of sirens going off across Veterans Drive towards our right. Runner down at second with 2 outs. In for a strike is Hohenstein. Watches it go right by on Iki. Again, 57 pitches in that first contest for Iki. With it being a warmer day as well, it didn't probably take him very long to get loosened back up from that first contest. Pitch at the belt evens it at 1 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. 2-1 the score. Iki pauses, looks back at second, peeks at home, now kicks and fires towards home. Fly ball out to center field, drifting in as Peterson takes a step back and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. We've got 2 in the books. It's still 2-1. It's Elk River on top of the Cold Spring 16s. Step aside here for a quick break, and then top of the third comes your way here with Bitstream Digital Media. The top of the third inning from Dick Putz Field at the Municipal Athletic Complex in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Final elimination game of the day with the VFW State Baseball Tournament. Winner takes on the Cold Spring 2 squad made up of the 15-year-olds coming up tomorrow morning. Top of the order on the way here with Iki leading off for Elk River. Sees that first pitch in for a ball to make it 1-0. Iki reaching on a high throw from the second baseman Zahar back in the first inning, but eventually came around to score and watches the count go even at 1-1. Shouldn't say it was exactly Iki. It was his courtesy runner, that being Walls. Zach Walls, that is. Pitch outside at 2 balls and a strike, but nonetheless, 2 runs in that first inning, including an RBI double for Gavin Mensa. Pitch inside makes it 3-1 the count. Ferguson, a really nice second inning. Modest pitches. First pitch got a fly out to center. Got a pop out to the catcher and then a ground out to third to nullify any Elk River threat. Evens it now, brings it full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ferguson will go from the full windup, gets a sign that he wants. He'll wind and fire. Pitch just off the plate outside, and it'll be a leadoff walk. And I suspect he'll get a courtesy runner, and yes, he will. And this time it will be Walls yet again. Zach Walls. And we'll bring up Landon Kolakowski, their second plate of the day, at bat of the day, I should say. Single for him, stolen base, and a run scored in the first inning. Cold Springs defense battling in there, especially Notch over at third base. First pitch sails high and in on the batter and Kolakowski. Takes the signs from third, steps out, now steps back into home plate. the batter's box. Bergeson holds from the stretch, keeping an eye over at first, out of the corner, and be a ball. 2-0. Klingelhofer waiting on deck for his turn with the leadoff man over at first here in the top of the third. Ground ball, first base side, and foul. Makes it 2-1 the count. Notch will keep his feet about one stride behind the grass cutout over at third base. Snap throw over to first, back in safely is Walls. 2-1 the count. Bergeson kicks and fires. Ground ball right back up the middle. Snubbed by the pitcher. Back over to second. To first. Double play converted on the old 1-6-3 double play. Kolakowski runs into one while cutting down the runner back at first. Bergeson with the backhanded snag. Threw it down to second and gets the double play. Great defense there to make it 2 outs in the inning. And now we'll bring up Klingelhofer. Grounded out to short first time. Lines went out to right center field, drifting back beyond the reach of the Zaire. It will be into second base. Thinking about third, puts the brakes on. Did Klingelhofer, but he will stay right there. A 2-out double. Klingelhofer will now make it a man in scoring position with 2 outs. And just got that out into right center field beyond the reach of Zaire. And Mensah at the plate. Last time he was at second base after roping one into right center field for a double. This time around might plate another run for Mensah. First pitch to him, inside, called a strike. Voss waits on deck, 2 outs this inning. After getting that ground ball double play, Bergeson gives up the double with 2 outs. Bergeson peeks back at second, now kicks and fires towards home. Ground ball, shortstop side, picked up. Looks to throw over to first, and in time, gets the 3rd out of the inning. 2-out double goes nowhere. We played 2.5. Cold Spring comes up with a chance to get back into this one yet again. Trailing 2-1 here against Elk River in the VFW State Baseball Tournament. Thanks to our friends at Bitstream Digital Media. Top of the order is coming up for Cold Spring, facing a 2-1 deficit in this win and into the championship game contest. Cold Spring post 69-15, the 16-year-olds up against post 55-18 of Elk River. It'll be Cooper Notch, the third baseman, to get things rolling here in the bottom of the third. Led off the contest with a base hit, but got caught stealing in that first inning. Didn't do too much damage afterwards because a run would come around to score on a balk. Pitch just off the plate, high and away, and it'll make it 1-0 the count. A little bit elevated, outside edge of the plate. Iki out for inning number 3. See how far he goes, even on a warmer day. And of course, back-to-back pitching opportunities, making it 2-0 the count. How far is the leash for Peyton Iki? The 2-0 at the belt and makes it now a 3-0. Should open up the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3 hits for Elk River, 2 for Cold Spring, one of which belonging to Notch, who sees strike 1 just a little bit in, but enough to catch that part of the zone. Joe Faber Field going to be quiet for the rest of the state tournament. In fact, a St. Cloud Rocks game getting started here before too long, probably around 7:05, I believe. In for a strike, late call by the umpire here as he warned him before he signaled. Now bringing it full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Can't quite see who the Rocks are playing on the scoreboard there later tonight. 3-2, down and away, and makes it a leadoff walk, second time today on base for Cooper Notch. We'll bring up Ethan Hellerman. Trying to read the scoreboard across the way here. I believe it might be the Big Sticks that they're playing up against. Can't remember where they're out of. Northwoods League Baseball, St. Cloud Rocks. Bunt bat right back to the pitcher. Throw over to first in time. Small ball doing its part here for both these Cold Spring teams. Put on the old 1-3 sacrifice for the first out of the inning for Hellerman. And now we'll put a man at second with 1 out, and Logan Adams at the plate. Did work a walk and eventually came around to score. He scored on that balk from Iki. Kicks and fires, popped up, right center field, drifting back Peterson, still going beyond his reach, and a run will try and come around to score. Notch did not get a good read on it. Throw to home plate is going to be not in time, in safely as Notch beat the tag. Cooper Notch got a bad read from second base, as by the time the ball landed, he was getting around third. Watch the relay throw coming in, and just sneaking under the tag was Cooper Notch. An excellent view of the replay here behind home plate. And we are tied at 2. Cooper Notch, after the double to right center from Logan Adams, will tie the score at 2 apiece. Back at second is Adams. Iki kicks and fires. This first pitch delivery in against Bergeson, in for a strike. I want to say they're the Badlands Big Sticks over at the Rocks game. I'll have to look between innings here on the schedule for the St. Cloud Rocks. Nonetheless, 2-2 the score. Iki's delivery dumped into short right field down the line. Fair ball, and the 16s are going to take the lead here as Trading Places, not just a great movie, but now the situation that has arisen with Bergeson, an RBI double for him. Back-to-back RBI doubles for Cold Spring makes it now 3-2 lead for them. Iki giving up a pair of RBI doubles here with only 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Waddell trying to calm down his defense and his pitcher in the process, now bringing up Noah Stahlberger in for a strike to get ahead. At this point, crucial to get ahead on strikes. Not seeing any action down that third base side towards the bullpen area. Short left field, another base hit. They're going to try and send the runner, which they will. Throw down to home plate is going to be wide, but it's going to be an out recorded at home plate. Will be a single, but a run cut down at home by Bergeson, and will make it 2 outs in the inning. Getting a look here at the replay. Cold Spring was sending the runner no matter what. I think maybe just a slight bit of hesitation as he was coming around third, but nonetheless getting the single and advancing to second on the throw. Conversation taking place here, heading towards the first base dugout is our home plate umpire. Maybe the contact at home plate a little bit high towards the umpire's liking. Maybe some words minced as the runner came home. Take a look here at the replay again. It was a solid throw from the left fielder in Berklich. Not too quite sure about the contact up high. That might lead to some words, or maybe just checking in. We'll see here. Not too many upset faces in that Cold Spring dugout thus far. Cooper Notch, the third baseman, talking with the home plate umpire. Iki's getting a couple extra warm-up pitches here. Not really sure what was cause of anything. Maybe something said as runner was coming off from home plate area, but nonetheless, 2 outs in the inning as Bergeson's cut down at home plate. Stahlberger stands at second base after advancing on the throw. Now brings up Dane Zier. Fouls off his first pitch behind home plate. We had almost a throw at home plate, then we did get a throw at home plate. Great to see the fundamentals of defense coming through here in the early goings of this matchup. 3-2 the score. In for a strike, now 0-2 against Zier. Flew out to left in his first plate appearance last inning. A pair of RBI doubles has made the difference. Ground ball back to short. Picked up, thrown over to first in time. Klingelhofer will throw out the runner. 3 in the books, but Cold Spring takes the lead. 2 RBI doubles make it a 3-2 Cold Spring 16's lead. Top of the 4th inning comes your way here from the VFW State Baseball Tournament in St. Cloud, thanks to our friends at Bitstream Digital Media. Top of the 4th inning coming up from Dick Putz Field at the St. Cloud Municipal Athletic Complex. Coaching staffs having words with the umpires here between innings. Layden Voss, Alec Herzog, Avery Waddell scheduled to bat here this half inning. Top of the 4th after a pair of RBI doubles from Cold Spring. Got them back into the contest and gave them the lead. At the belt. A ball called against Landon Voss as back out for his 3rd inning of work is Christian Bergeson. Bergeson's 1-0, bounced into home plate, now making it 2-0. Mixing things up, now gets a sign from the full windup. Bergeson in for a strike to split the difference at 2 balls and a strike. It is correct, the Badlands Big Sticks taking on the St. Cloud Rocks tonight. Into the month of August. Line drive, back up the middle, caught but then dropped. Throw over to first in time as Bergeson. I don't know if he got a piece of it. Let's check the replay on that one. Could be the difference between a 4-3 and a 1-4-3 put out. Lined right back up the middle. Not sure if he got a piece of it, but it could have been caught on the line nonetheless. First out of the inning recorded. And self-preservation, it's a hell of a drug. Second time today that Bergeson's had to defend himself. Of course, turned double play last inning. Strike called on Herzog. Gets the sign that he wants from the medium side of the rubber. Fires in and makes it 0-2 on Herzog. Grounded out the second and that first inning that played a pair for Elk River. Winden fires, does Bergeson. Ground ball back up the middle, this time well away from the pitcher, but over to first. Second out of the inning recorded. Nice play from Adams. Middle infield doing their part thus far with a pair of back-to-back groundouts. Brings up Avery Waddell. Waddell, the opposing catcher. Gets a bit of a hand from Hellerman. Waddell, the lefty against the righty in Bergeson, will dig in from the full windup. Pitch out and away. Watched it sail right in. Already doubling his pitch total from his previous at-bat, Waddell. First pitch lined out to center. And now watches it go to 2-0 on the count. 2 outs this inning, 4 hits for Cold Spring to Elk River's 3. Fouled off and takes a wicked bounce with some contact. Now makes it 2-1 the count, and Waddell is feeling every bit of that foul ball. Thinking things over there. I'm not quite sure he took it off the shin or the ankle, but hit a lower part of the leg. And he's feeling it right now. Everybody's going to give him as much time as he needs off that right foot. Trying to put as much weight as he can on it right now. He's just going to try and shake it off, walk it off essentially. Home plate umpire and, of course, the opposing catcher are going to give him as much grace as he needs, and he's going to stick around here. Getting short bench for Elk River in the process. Takes a couple practice swings and see if he's doing all right. Looks like he's pointing towards his knee that he fouled that off of. And kind of need both knees, especially if you're going to be catching. See if any potential changes come between innings here after this at-bat for Waddell. 2-1 the delivery from Bergeson. He'll kick and fire. In for a strike as it catches that outside part of the plate. Waddell talking things over with the home plate umpire, asking that where the pitch was. The 2-2 on its way from Bergeson. Well off the plate that time, but trying to sneak it back in was Hellerman. Hopefully Waddell would like the benefit of maybe a call of that next half inning. The payoff pitch on its way. Ground ball, right side into right field for a base hit. And Waddell lumbering his way down for a base hit. And 2 outs. Quite possibly see if he gets a runner. And yes, he will be getting a courtesy runner, looks like. And that will be chasing out of the dugout. Going to talk things over here quite possibly. Now, of course, the pitcher does get a courtesy runner, but yes, he'll have to pick somebody else to run for Waddell. Can't be Walls. That will bring out of the dugout here, I believe, number 17. Yes, number 17, Dalton Jones, will be running for Waddell with 2 outs this inning. It will be a pinch runner. It'll be interesting to see if Waddell does re-enter the game. You just basically burn one of your players off the bench, but given the circumstances, I believe the coaching staff will allow that to happen. Logan Dahlberg at the plate, sees pitch up and in on him. Pop out to the catcher last time. That happened back in the second inning for Dahlberg. 3-2 is the score. Fouled off to even it at 1 ball and 1 strike. Be my assumption as well, if Waddell does come back into the game, that he will just basically burn that player over at first and Dalton Jones. Cross home plate, in for a strike at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Late strike call by our umpire, but again, some umpires are like that. Either call it right away or going to hang on to that for dear life. The 1-2. They check his swing. No, they say he fouled it off the ground. It will be a foul ball. And the at-bat stays alive for Dahlberg. Immediately right away, of course, as I talked about him making the late strike call, immediately calls foul ball off the dirt. 1-2, in for strike 3 that time. Punches it out. Leaving a man over at first. Elk River comes up empty once again this half inning, and we head to the bottom of the 4th. Cold Spring looks to add on to their 3-2 lead here in this elimination contest between Elk River and Cold Spring for the VFW State Baseball Tournament in St. Cloud. Good sign to see here as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Avery Waddell still in today's contest after fouling a ball off the knee. Him and Iki are back out for the 4th inning of work here today. After a pair of RBI doubles last half inning for Cold Spring to take a 3-2 lead, they'd like to add on top of that. It'll be the bottom third of the order with Carter Simon, Tyson Zahar, and also Jax Hohenstein. This half inning in the Cold Spring post 69-15. Ground ball, shortstop side to Klingelhofer. He'll fire over to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Tyson Zahar. Grounded out to the pitcher here. His previous at-bats. Put down a bunt, I believe. Yes, put down the bunt last time he was up. Jax Hohenstein due up after him. Iki kicks and fires, in for a strike. Iki definitely well around the zone here. Not too many full ball counts. So far, just 2 3-ball counts here this afternoon. Evens it at 1 ball and 1 strike. Just a shade before 5 o'clock here from Dick Putz Field. Game number 1 got started all the way back at 10:01 this morning. It's been a long, fun day of baseball. A couple elimination games and a championship semifinal have taken place. Popped up left field. Starting in, now drifting back. Coming back in now to make the catch is the left fielder in Berklich. 2 quick outs this half inning. Our first broadcast of the afternoon, morning I should say, saw Andover eliminate Winona 5-1. And then we saw Cold Spring shut out Elk River 2-0 in the championship semifinals in a contest that felt like it lasted about 20 minutes. It was definitely much longer than that, about an hour, hour and a half. Both teams and both pitchers were working. Complete games for each starting pitcher, including of which it's Peyton Iki. Pitch back inside to make it 2-0 on Hohenstein, who flew out to center in the second inning for him. The 2-0 delivery, lined out to short center field, dumped in for a base hit. 2-out single for Hohenstein. We'll keep the inning going and bring them to the top of the order now for Cooper Notch. Notch started off last inning with a walk, came around to score. A very close play at home plate. After a ringing double to center field, he got a late jump on it. By the time the ball dropped, he was about 5 feet away from second base, but still came all the way around to score. In for a strike on Notch. That was just the first of 2 RBI doubles, back-to-back RBI doubles. One belonging to Adams, the other in Bergeson. Ickey's pitch popped up, left field, drifting back, still going back. Berklich will make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. 4 in the books. We've got 3-2 our score. It is Cold Spring on top of Elk River here from the VFW State Baseball Tournament. Thanks to our friends at Bitstream Digital Media. Top of the 5th inning coming up with Elk River sending to the plate. It will be Max Peterson, then the top of the order, and Peyton Ickey and Landon Kolakowski. Conversation taking between innings with the coaching staff for Elk River, Peyton Ickey, and also the home plate umpire. Wasn't quite sure about the conversation. Maybe they were looking at his glove for some particular reason. Just so happened to be looking at his glove, but Peterson with a 1-0 count on him with Bergeson out for his 4th inning, make that 5th inning of work. Off the side now brings it to a 2-0 count for the number 9 batter, but definitely not a slouch at the plate. Elk River, 4 hits on the day for them. Looking to get things started with a 5th. Up and in now with 3-0 count on Peterson. Peterson starting, of course, a couple of defensive webs, and then in for a strike now inside. Peterson thought it was ball 4, but just caught enough of the plate, says our home plate umpire. 3-1 the count. Leadoff man. Up and in, that'll be ball 4. And first batter of the inning is on, and Max Peterson. I believe the run game here might be in play, but also the defense for Cold Spring will be on their toes. Peyton Ickey at the plate. Grounded into a double play. It was part of the double play that was grounded into a walk and reaching on an error. Ground ball, first base side, steps on the base, does the first baseman, down in second in time, out at second base this time. Another double play turned by Cold Spring. The old 3-6 double play. As a ground ball stepped on the bag that time by Stahlberger. 2 outs this inning. Another great replay there to show the 3-6 double play. Now brings up Kolakowski, who'll jump one into left field, but it's caught on a line. Kolakowski flies out to left after a leadoff walk. retired aside. 4.5 in the books. Cold Spring looks to add on to their 3-2 lead, leading in this win and into the championship game contest between Cold Spring and the Elk River Post 55-18 here from St. Cloud. Bottom of the fifth inning coming up from Dick Putz Field at the St. Cloud Municipal Athletic Complex. 3-2, Cold Springs 16s. Their VFW Post 69-15 taking on Elk River Post 55-18. Ethan Hellerman will start things off here with Logan Adams and Christian Bergson scheduled to bat here. Hellerman last time up put down the sacrifice bunt to move Cooper Notch over to second. And he'd come around to score on that double out to right center. First pitch from Iki popped up. Right field drifting back is Herzog beyond his reach. Hellerman takes the turn from first. Heads towards second base. They're going to put the brakes on at second base. A leadoff double here for Hellerman. We'll get things going here for Cold Spring to start off the inning. Get that courtesy runner once again for Hellerman. That'll bring in number 11, Gabe Fredine. And Logan Adams will get his turn to bat. So man on second, nobody out here to open things up in this fifth inning. Logan Adams at the plate, right back up the middle for a base hit. They're going to send Fredine around, just be over the glove of the center fielder. And it'll be an RBI single for Logan Adams to make it a 4-2 lead for Cold Spring. Max Peterson out in center, thought he had the ball the entire way. It scooped right over his glove that time and will make it an RBI base hit. And that might be the afternoon here for Iki. Iki is going to get his glove switched out most likely. And looks like a pitching change is coming up. Looks like it'll be 3, Landon Kolakowski. He'll go into pitch here and most likely just a straight up switch that time. Iki is actually going to go head towards the dugout, most likely grab something here as well. So step aside here for just a quick second and allow Kolakowski to get warmed up. Landon Kolakowski into bat here this half inning after starting off with Peyton Iki. Unofficially, the numbers here today for him include 4 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs scored on 2 walks. Will be pitcher-on-pitcher matchup yet again, so Kolakowski in here with the runner over at first still on the still responsible for is Iki. First pitch in and a ball. to Bergeson. So switching things up. Yeah, just a straight switch this time with Iki moving to second for Kolakowski. Just off the plate, now making it 2-0 the count. Time called at home plate there as looks like time called at home by the catcher in Waddell. Signs coming in from the third base coach's box. 2-0. In for a strike. This time is Kolakowski working from the stretch. Holding from that stretch now as Kolakowski, he winds and fires. Ground ball back to shortstop. Over to second. In time for one. Over to first and will not be in time. And a big stretch from Mensa over at first will at least record an out. Adams will be out on the fielder's choice for the first out of the inning. And Bergeson will reach and allow that runner to come in for the pitcher. Didn't quite get the number over at first base for Bergeson, but nonetheless, one out still. Just inside on Stahlberger. One out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. With Cold Spring leading now 4-2. Up and in now from Kolakowski. Stahlberger at the plate. For him today, a single and a ground out back to short. Kicks and fires as Kolakowski trying to steal one away. Does the catcher Waddell. Now making it 2-1 the count. Takes a peek over at first, does Kolakowski. Before he holds from the set position, kicks and fires, and in for a strike that time, just working that outside part of the plate. And now evening it at 2-2. Kicks and fires towards home. Foul ball. Reaching the parking lot over towards Faber Field. Count now at 2-2. Living in the future, at least we were for a moment. Ground ball, second base side, going to be a tough play. Couple of hops, flip over to first in time for the second out of the inning, as the runner was able to move up to second on the slow hopping ball over to second base. So 2 outs and another man in scoring position for Cold Spring. And we'll bring up Dane Zier, the right fielder. Zier for him today, pop out to left field and also a ground ball to short for his efforts this afternoon. Dropping in the breaking ball for a strike is Kolakowski. Get ahead on the batter at 0-1. Looking back at second, time called at home plate by Zier. Kolakowski looks back as a defense before he kicks and fires towards home. Almost goes up and away, and not far away enough as the runner at second didn't quite see where the ball went as it went off the glove of Waddell. I think at this point, shadows start to play a bit of a factor. At least that low setting sun right at our backs, especially if you're on the defense. Foul ball. Off the netting and just sneaks over and smokes somebody's mom in the back there gracefully, but didn't even feel it. Make sure the baseball's okay in the process. Fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and hits square in the back this time as Zier will trot his way down to first. No worse for the wear. The runner at first and second after the hit batter. Now will be first and second with 2 outs and brings up Carter Simon. The base hit to his credit today and also a ground out to short. Golikowski trying to get out of the inning unscathed. Kicks and fires towards home. Ground ball too short for Klingelhofer. Throws over to first in time. Third out of the inning. But another run comes across for Cold Spring. They double their lead. Now leading 4-2 against Elk River. Elk River's got some work coming up here in the top of the 6th. Elimination contest of the VFW State Baseball Tournament from Dick Putz Field in St. Cloud. Top of the 6th inning coming up. Klingelhofer, Mensa, Voss due up this half inning for the VFW Post 5-5-18 out of Elk River. Bryson Klingelhofer will start things off here this half inning. A double for him today, which eventually led to nowhere. And then also ground out for him back to shortstop in the first inning. Bergeson out for inning number 6 today. In for a strike to lead things off this half inning for him. Tell you one thing, be sure to stick around towards the end of our broadcast as we wrap things up. Take a look at the highlight reel that will be playing out as a ground ball to second base. Over to first in time for the first out of the inning. There's been some great defense here, even some great plays at home play that have come about, so definitely look forward to watching that over again. First out of the inning recorded on a ground out to second. Brings up Gavin Mensa, an RBI double for him, and a ground out to short. His 2 plate appearances today. Watches the first pitch bounce into home plate to get ahead 1-0. Bergeson last half inning. A nice double play ball, and then also a 1-2-3 inning for him. And especially if you're Cold Spring, you want to see how far your pitcher can go because you have an uphill battle in front of you tomorrow if you should get that far. But still, a lot of baseball to be played. Ground ball left side into left field for a base hit for Mensa. He'll make the turn, and it will not get much further than that for him. And will make it a base hit for Gavin Mensa, his second today, and brings up Landon Voss. Has put the ball in play a couple of times, but unfortunately have led to outs. Snap throw over to first, and he is going to be safe as it was a quick throw. A hesitation from the runner, and Mensa. Umpire had to look the whole way as the second baseman, Zahar, came in as well to take a peek. He's taking a look at the replay there. Boy, not by much. Line drive just over the shortstop's head into short left center field. Something brewing here for Elk River. Back-to-back base hits. Landon Voss this time just reaching over the head of the shortstop. And Adams now will bring to the plate now an Alec Herzog. Herzog getting a pep talk from his catcher in Waddell. And Waddell still with the shin guards on. He'll shed those here in just a moment. Runners at first and second with 1 out here in the, make that, just 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Scoreboard says 2 outs. It's only 1. We're getting a conversation taking place. Yes, 1 out on the scoreboard. Just confirmation there. A 1-0 count to Herzog. One out in the inning here. The 1-0 down and away makes it 2-0 as Bergeson falls behind on the batter. No action in either bullpen so far in this contest. Action's going to take place out on the mound. Ground ball, third base side. Notch will step on the bag, throw over to first, and will be in time for the double play. That will end the threat from Elk River. A 5-3 double play to end the inning. And Cold Spring will come to the plate in the bottom of the sixth coming up here from the VFW State Baseball Tournament in St. Cloud. Bottom of the sixth inning coming up. Cold Spring taking a 4-2 lead. Last half inning. Elk River had 2 runners on with 1 out, but an ending double play nullified any further chance of anything going on. Believe it or not, it was a 2-0 Elk River lead, but 4 unanswered runs have come across for Cold Spring. It'll be Tyson Zahar with Jax Hohenstein, and then we'll also see Cooper Notch to lead things off here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Time called at home plate here. Some paraphernalia looks like on the field. I believe that first pitch, was called a ball to start. Now we get ready to roll here. Offering in just off the plate. 1-1 the count. Cue shot, first base side, and rolls foul. So now 1-2 the count for Kolakowski in relief of Peyton Ike, who now stands at second base. Ike did just about everything he could, was right around that strike zone there, but another cue shot, this time second base side, going to be a long run play and going to be in safely that time. As tried to flip it over was second baseman and Ike, but Zahara legs it out for a leadoff single. Just had enough spin on the ball there, and tough play nonetheless between the first baseman and second baseman. Runner over at first. Nobody out. Kolakowski kicks and fires. Square on the bunt there for Hohenstein. Picked up by the catcher and goes off the first baseman's glove. He takes a bit of contact, rolls into right field, and will be stretching all the way to third. Standing up is Hohenstein, but contact on Mensa as he sacrifices arm and shoulder in the process, and will be a run plating Ball put in play that was originally a bunt, but the throw getting all the way down the line after the throw from the catcher in Waddell took out the first baseman in the process, and looks like he's going to ask to come off the field of some sort, at least a quick conversation there. Five to 2 now our score. Mentz is going to make his way off the field here. Looks like we will see. Looks like we're going to get a change here. Looks like Iki is going to head his way over to first. Mensa will come out of the game. And then we'll get, looks like Zach Walls will be heading his way to second. And hopefully for Mensa's sake, that just the collision, nothing too serious beyond that. So yeah, Iki will head over to first base. Hohenstein over at third now. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brings the top of the order this time for Cooper Notch. Up and in now to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at third base, infield completely drawn in. Line drive, center field, and in for a base hit. Notch will plate Hohenstein and will make it an RBI base hit for Cold Spring. Now make it a 6-2 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Make it also the second hit of the day. Squaring up to bunt, puts the ball down. Waddell throws over to first, not in time. Slips past Iki, but not far enough away this time. It was going to be a tough play and a tough throw nonetheless, legging it out that time. As Cold Spring, death by 1,000 bunts this time, will continue to work the small ball. Still nobody out, first and second. Logan Adams at the plate. Line drive, short right center field yet again. Going to send around is Notch. Going to be going to third. Long run from Peterson, and throw will not be there in time. Another run comes across. Adams making his way into second base on the throw. Notch comes in to score. Over to third is Hellerman, or at least his courtesy runner that was from Hellerman, and making it now another RBI base hit this time, with Bergeson at the plate. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 runs coming across this half inning. Hohenstein came in as well to score. So 3 runs this half inning. Second and third, nobody out. Infield drawn in, up and away on the pitch to Bergeson. Reached all 3 times today, a double, a fielder, 2 fielders' choices he's reached on as well. Action down the third baseline in the bullpen. Kolakowski popped up, short right center field, long run for Herzog. He's not going to get there. That's going to run almost all the way to the track. Bergeson going to stop in at second and holds up the runner at third. And Adams thought maybe the stop sign was on, but nonetheless, an RBI double for Bergeson to help his own cause. Plates at least one more run. 4 coming across this inning, and yes, make that 8 in total. It's Bergeson standing at third base. Excuse me, at second base. Adams at second from third. And now brings up this time Noah Stahlberger. Still nobody out. Infield continues to remain in, but those so far, all balls reaching to the right center gap this half inning. Stahlberger, a single, ground out to short, and a ground ball to second for him. Q shot off the end, but goes into the netting behind home plate, evening the count at 1 ball and 1 strike for him. Up and away this time. 2 balls and a strike for Stahlberger. Kolakowski laboring this half inning. 4 runs this inning have come in, and still nobody out. Kicks and fires. A strike against Stahlberger. Zaire waits on deck for his chance. Kolakowski kicks and fires inside and makes it now 3-2. Elk River will take it out at this point if it gives up a run, but if they can keep both runners where they stand, they will greatly appreciate it. Ground ball to second base, and Walls looking over to first, touching the bag. For the first out of the inning was Iki, so 1 out recorded, and remaining at second and third are both runners. Zaire comes to plate now. Zaire for him today hit by pitch. Fly out to left and a ground out to short. Kolakowski kicks and fires towards home. Infield still drawn in with less than 2 outs. Scoreboard says 8 total hits. Handful of them coming this half inning. Lined out to left center field. In front of it will be Peterson. Holding up the runner at third will be this time an RBI base hit for Zaire. To plate Logan Adams, and keeping at third is Bergeson's runner. Stoppage here, as coming out of the dugout is a member of the Elk River coaching staff. That will bring in a new pitcher for Elk River. Looks like Kolakowski's day is done, and that will bring in number 3. That's going to be, it was number 3. Number 43, Max Kegley. He'll be in to pitch. Step aside here for a quick moment and tally the numbers, or at least try our best to do so here. It's 9-2. Cold Spring on top of Elk River here from the VFW State Baseball Tournament. Unofficially, the numbers here so far, but still responsible for the runners at first and third is Kolakowski. Officially 1 inning pitched out of him today. 6 hits thus far given up, but still responsible for at least 4 runs. Make that 5 runs in total. But runners at the corners here. Still 1 out in the inning. Carter Simon now at the plate here for Cold Spring. As Elk River trying to get out of this mess that they find themselves in. Kegley between first and third takes a peek. Ball down and away on him. Carter Simon at the plate with a 1-0 count to his favor. Kegley holds from the set, looks back over at first, kicks and fires towards home. Ground ball third base side, picked up, thrown over to first for an out recorded there. Runner at third got about a quarter of the way down and decided to trail back. Now runners at second and third with 2 outs in the inning. And we'll bring back up here this half inning in Tyson Zahar. Zahar started off the inning with a single. He came all the way around to score. Fouled off. Zahar behind 0-1. Nine to 2 the score. Cold Spring kicks and fires at the belt for a strike. 0-2 now the count. 2 outs this inning. Kegley's 0-2 delivery. Down and away, scooped up by Waddell. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. 7 runs in total. Popped up, right field side, dumped in for a base hit, and that will play to pair this inning. Yet again off the bat of Tyson Zahar. Started the inning with a base hit, continues it. And now make it 10-2 the score here in the bottom of the 6th. That will plate both runners this half inning yet again. Yes, that will make it 11-2. 11-2 the score. Count 1-0 on Jackson Hohenstein. Got on this half inning with a base hit and then came all the way around to score. RBI double an RBI single. Dumped into short right center field. They're going to send first to third here. Uncorking one to right field, but caught in between that time, first to third. Zahar goes with Hohenstein, and base hit for him. Inning continues. Brings up the top of the order now in Cooper Notch. An RBI base hit for him this half inning, and a run scored. Notch at the plate here today. Scored twice. Elevated pitch for him. 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. I believe with Notch at the plate, finds a way to get on base, or if the runner from third comes around to score on Zahar, 10 runs after 6 innings would take effect. Don't quote me directly on that, but we'll go with it. Notch with a 1-1 count to his favor. Kegley kicks and fires towards home plate. Out and away on the throw to make it now 2-1. Notch, 2 runs scored for him. 2 hits, swung on and missed, even it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A walk and 2 runs scored for him as well. 11-2 the score. 7 runs this half inning after Elk River jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the top of the first. Bounce to home plate. Gets in there, and that will do it. Cold Spring wins on a walk-off pass ball and a 12-2 final score. And it will set up an all Cold Spring final coming up tomorrow morning. The Cold Spring 15s will take on the Cold Spring 16s. 11 a.m. first pitch here from Dick Putz Field in St. Cloud. Final score 12-2 after 6 innings of play. A win for the Cold Spring 16s. 12 unanswered runs they tally on 8 in the bottom of the 6th inning. A big thank you once again to everybody tuning in here today. Big thank you to everybody across the state of Minnesota tuning in as well in those VA medical centers and the VFW homes. Thank you so much for your service. And, of course, VFW Department Baseball, 62 teams across the state of Minnesota, sponsored by 56 VFWs across the state. And thank you once again. Coming up here, of course, we will have, of course, a nice highlight package that will show off the great plays that have taken place across the length of this game. Before we step away here, special award being handed out here at home plate. So before we wrap things up,
I always make it my point to tell all of you the most important thing here is that hospital out there for veterans. VFW tournament is great for the kids. It's great for VFW. It's great for being here in St. Cloud. So what we want to do is thank all the teams, thank the veterans that are here, the families that take the time to make this weekend happen. We really appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll just rename the stadium Sprinter Park. Tomorrow we'll hand out the other trophies, but tonight we're going to give the third place trophy and third place medal to Elk River.
so for those tuning in at home, they can quite catch all that information with it being a Cold Spring
St. Joe, the Big Gold brothers, Dave and John help me every year. They did their service in Vietnam in the 60s and 70s.
Elk River is going to be receiving their third place trophy here today for their play throughout this tournament, and it will set up an all Cold Spring final tomorrow morning. Again, that'll be 11 a.m. first pitch. The Cold Spring 15s take on the Cold Spring 16s, contest of which we very much forward to. Again, VFW Department Baseball across the state of Minnesota, 62 teams in total, sponsored by 56 VFWs, one of which will be, of course, Post 6915 out of Cold Spring. They have 2 teams sponsored here throughout this tournament and throughout the season. A big thank you once again to everybody tuning in here this afternoon for our baseball triple header of contests. And the way it'll work here tomorrow, of course, we'll mention it once again. Cold Springs 15s are in the winner's bracket. They have to win 1 game to be state champions. Now for the 16s, they have to win twice in order to claim the tournament championship in total. So we'll see how that all delves out tomorrow morning and possibly into the afternoon, as Elk River will take third place in the state tournament. Cold Spring will set up a matchup against their counterparts, the 15s versus the 16s, tomorrow morning starting 11 a.m. here from Dick Putz Field. On behalf of Bitstream Digital Media, Donna Lamo, Brian Lamo, I am Paul Vold for this afternoon's broadcast. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow morning starting at 11 a.m. with the VFW State Tournament Championship contest as well. And again, a thank you to all those who have tuned in here today and throughout the weekend as well. Thank you so much. And for the VFW, for those that have been putting on this tournament, post 48-47 out of St. Cloud, last 3 years running. And we look forward to a great one tomorrow for the 4th straight year. Again, it's a victory, 12-2 in 6 innings for the 16s of Cold Spring at a post 69-15. Elk River falls away as the short end of the loss, but a third-place finish here at the state tournament. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning here on behalf of the VFW State Baseball Tournament from Dick Putz Field at the St. Cloud Municipal Athletic Complex. Talk to you tomorrow morning. Thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy this highlight reel.